true, I haven't said much this week. So, we have exciting new news. Amongst other new things I have this week, I have a new green bin. That's garbage. And the problem with the old one was that it was splitting at the bottom with age, heat, temperature, wear, and abuse. And you just put in with a city and they'll bring out a new one and take the old one away. Now, here's the part that burns my shorts. Now, I'll just say right here, this house next to me is a rental property that somebody uses for short-term rentals, like 1 or 2 weeks at a time. Most of the time it's vacant. And shortly after I got my last new garbage can, can't prove it, but the bastards stole mine and replaced their broken down one. So I've taken a note of the serial, not that those people will ever be back, but I've taken a note of the serial number, and if my garbage can disappears and suddenly is broken again in short order and looks suddenly beat up, I'm gonna start hunting for that thing, because that's the kind of vindictive person I am. I have a feeling like this might be a long piece of exposition, so I thought I'm going to tell it in parts instead of giving you this 20-minute long conversation where I'm just sitting here talking to you. I'm going to tell it to you in little bits, so I'll do some now and then I'll do some later, and then when I finally put this Tedium Unlimited together, it'll still be 20 minutes long, but it will be in parts. So, I used to be an electrician, if you didn't know that. I work in computers now. My college education was in computers, but when I ran out of money, I worked as an electrician during my college years. And to make a long story short, I learned something very important working for contractors, because I worked for several contractors, and I learned that the amount of work that you have to perform can be drastically reduced by the quality of the tools that you have to use. When I worked for contractors who invested in the tools that they needed, it was a big capital outlay for them, but the work got done much quicker, and it really was noticeable in here's one: hydraulic hole punches. So when you're working on a junction box and you need to put a hole in it, you've got to drill a hole through it, and you've got to put the punch through it, and it's basically a cup, a little smaller cup with a cutting blade, and you put the two sides together, and then and it pops through a neat little hole. As an example, one contractor we were on said, "Here, go do these 25 junction boxes. Here is the tool." And the tool was, basically manually operated with 2 screwdrivers. And we spent, wrenches, I should say. We spent a day doing these 25. And, which, is a sucky job, and nobody wanted to do it. So, then I worked for another contractor, and we had a similar one. We had like 50, and the guy pulled out a hydraulic one, and we knocked those out in a couple of hours. And, that hydraulic press cost a lot more money, but you really just kind of, if your brain is working at all, you'll go, well, I just only spent, for a couple of hours of these 2 guys working on this thing as opposed to a whole day. And that has a cumulative effect, and frankly, that particular instance was the day that my eyes just went bing on the job. Because, you want good tools, they break, and that's one thing, but then when you realize, don't screw around with your tools. Buy the good tools. One of the things we used to do a lot on jobs was drilling for conduit. So you'd have to put these little not J nails, but they're little brackets to hold down the conduit that you would be putting pipe in. And you'd be doing this on metal girders, and you'd be drilling all day. You'd be drilling and screwing in all day long, and frequently you have no power. So we would work cordless, and all the best jobs that I worked on had Makita drills. And so when I got around to buying myself a cordless drill, I went and bought a contractor grade cordless drill, and I just replaced it within the last year. I've had it for a long time, and it was a good tool. But you know, not lithium, the NiCad batteries were getting harder to find, and they didn't last very long. And so I replaced it with this one. Also a Makita, of course. Much newer technology. This is the first part. I'm going to show you this, because this is where it starts. My house is brick, and whenever I put a hole in something, it's drilling. You know, you've got to put in the mollies to mount things to it. You need a hammer drill. So I replaced that Makita with this one, which is a variable speed, basically hammer drill. And of course the new technology of these awesome lithium ion batteries that it's got a little flashlight, which is kind of nice, except it's never pointing at the right spot. But anyway, awesome drill. I love Makita equipment. This does not disappoint. It just makes the work so much easier going. You know, the drywall is fine, but right behind it is the brick, as you've seen with this wall being busted out. And to get into that, you've just got to have the right kind of masonry bits, and you've got to have impact bits, and the job goes from minutes to seconds, and all worth it. So that's the start of this story, and now we're going to go do some other stuff, and I'll tell you more about it later. I hope my finger wasn't stuck in that. This box is on our doorstep. It's for us, and we know what it is, but we had an ongoing debate as to how it would arrive. It's something we ordered from Amazon, and I suspected it would be something like this, but it's quite funny. Let's pop it open and see what's in there. Pop that side. Oh, fine. Oh, let's see, it's wrapped in paper. And the answer to the question is, it's a bag of cat food. Okay, it's a bag of dog food.
For cats.
For cats. It's dog food for cats. So you were wondering how they were going to ship a 30-pound bag of dog food? Answer is, in a big box. Even though he's still very much a puppy, I think we have to acknowledge the fact that the people at the Humane Society completely and absolutely misguessed his breed, and that he is never going to be a full-size dog. He's always going to be a runt little kind of yappy animal dog. Which, well, I find that disappointing in dogs, but he's okay. So we'll keep him, and the kids seem to like him. Well, James does. Michelle is, you know, teenager.
Boy.
There's apparently some sort of a special National Parks Apple workout challenge for your watch. And Chuan wants to participate, but she does not wish to walk outside. So we are trapped inside a mall, walking in circles. Each transit from one end to the other is point-free of a kilometer. We need to travel 5.7 kilometers. We got a ways to go. Almost there.
Well, good morning.
It's Sunday. Yesterday, we attempted to go for a, well, when I say we, Chuan heard about this Apple National Park Challenge. So if you have an Apple Watch, you have the activity app on your phone, you complete workouts, and if you complete certain workouts, you get badges or little awards. And, most of the time they're just like, I met my goal 7 days in a row, and silly nonsense like that. But every once in a while, they'll have a special one that's somehow tied to the date or period of time or something. And yesterday, July 15th, was their National Park badge, and you had to complete one workout that was walking 3.5 miles, which is about 5.63 kilometers. And Chuan really wanted to get that, despite the fact that it was 110 and humid. So instead of hiking outside, we went to the mall and we hiked. Oh, yeah. I told you about this. Okay. I told you about all that. I guess I could just cut that out, but I'll leave it in. As you can see my fantastic camera work here. More about that later. Anyway, while they were doing a little bit of shopping at the end, I put on my heels and finished my workout. So I got the badge. Woohoo! And Chuan was at 3.43 miles on her workout when her watch battery died. Now, when you're doing a workout, your Apple Watch is monitoring heart rate continuously, not just periodically. And so it burns the batteries much quicker. So she'd been doing this workout for a couple of hours, and she'd burned down her little mini, because she's got the smaller Apple Watch, which has a smaller battery, which is why mine didn't burn down all the way. And so she lost it. It didn't complete the workout. And the workout did show up later after we charged the watch and got it back online a few hours later, but she couldn't just start a new workout, and because it was like 11:30 at night, couldn't start a new workout and finish the distance. Although she did try. She started a new workout and went out and walked to get that last bit of distance, but it did not work. She did not get the badge, and she was and rightly so. I mean, it's like it's kind of funny. It's like, you did a lot of work and got there and it died on you, and that's not a good thing. But at the same time, if it occurred in a movie to the hapless hero, you'd be amused by it. I am in here for breakfast because I'm starving, and I told you I'd tell you about the camera angle. Yeah, my little clamshell is in the other car. I think I put it there for the drive, and I just haven't retrieved it yet. So I'm having to prop the camera up in wherever I can find a place it won't fall over. That was exciting, wasn't it? I'm telling you that. You thought it was probably a big deal. It's just like, whatever.